Sometimes the most revealing stories about an online world aren't found in some epic in-game battle, but in a simple forum thread. Today, we're going to dive into one of those, an announcement that sparked a ton of excitement, a little bit of debate, and gave us a fascinating look at what it really means to be a community. And that's really the big question here, isn't it? For communities that spend thousands of hours together online, separated by whole continents and time zones, what does it mean to finally meet face-to-face? It's like building a bridge between two realities. And as we're about to see, building that bridge, well, it can get a little complicated.
Okay, so first, a little bit of context for anyone who's not familiar. Entropia Universe is not your typical online game. It runs on what's called a real cash economy, or RCE. Basically, this means the money you earn in the game has a fixed exchange rate with the US dollar. So the items, the wealth, all the stuff players build up, it has actual, tangible, real-world value. Now remember that detail. Trust me, it becomes very important later on.
Right, so it all started with a post from Mindark, the developers behind this whole unique economy. They announced they were officially sponsoring a community-organized event, a real-life get-together for their players. This is where our story really kicks off.
The big news was for Entropia LAN 2026, and it was happening in Mindark's own backyard, Gothenburg, Sweden. Now, here's the crucial part. This event was started and coordinated by the players. The developers just stepped in to support it. This wasn't some top-down corporate marketing event. This was a true, honest-to-goodness grassroots gathering.
So what did this real-world quest actually entail? Well, the organizers laid out a super detailed 3-day plan that was this perfect blend of the virtual world these players knew and loved with a new physical one.
And the highlights were a perfect mix for any diehard player. I mean, of course, there would be group hunts and special in-game events with unique prizes, but the real draw? The chance to just hang out and socialize, to tour the developer's office, and to actually meet the team behind the game. This was a chance to peek behind the virtual curtain.
The whole weekend was structured to just maximize that interaction. It kicks off with an office tour and a pre-party on Friday, and then it's followed by 2 full days of gaming and socializing at a central spot running from the morning till the wee hours.
And the price to get in on all this? Get this, just $55. Yeah. Thanks to that developer sponsorship, the announcement mentioned a vastly reduced ticket cost. For a multi-day event like this, that made it incredibly accessible, and it sent a clear message. This was about participation, not about making a profit.
So, the plan is out there. How did the community react? Well, with immediate and just overwhelming enthusiasm. The forum thread pretty much instantly filled up with players saying, "I'm in."
Right away, you get users like Whining Skeptic jumping in, not just saying they'll be there, but actively trying to rally others. Who else is coming? That's the first spark of the community really coming together. The speed here is just remarkable. A user named Photon didn't just say they were interested, they went and booked their ticket, flights, and hotel almost immediately. This wasn't some maybe, this was a real-world, financial, and logistical commitment. Done.
And then you have the veterans chiming in. Chairman Edgewise encourages anyone who's on the fence, framing it as this fun tradition. This kind of social proof from a longtime player is so powerful. It's basically telling newcomers, hey, trust me, these events are worth the trip.
But this is a gaming forum, and no announcement goes without a little scrutiny. One of the event's biggest perks, those exclusive in-game prizes, ignited a really heated debate that cut right to the core of the game's entire economy.
So, a user named Art Jennifer fired the first shot. They pointed directly at the game's RCE, that real cash economy we talked about. The concern was pretty simple. If you award unique, valuable items exclusively to people who can afford to travel all the way to Sweden, is that really fair in a game where those items have real cash value? This wasn't about a cool-looking hat. It was about potentially valuable assets.
So this really breaks down the two sides of the argument. On one hand, hey, people who invest the time and money to actually show up to a special event should get a special reward. It's a thank you. But on the other hand, in a real cash economy, giving valuable items to a select few could be seen as a really unfair economic advantage, completely inaccessible to the vast majority of players around the world.
But the very first response to this pretty nuanced criticism, a single word, crybaby. That's it. It's blunt, it's dismissive, and it instantly shows you just how polarized opinions were and how quickly these things can escalate online.
Others, though, offered a more structured defense. They pointed back to that key fact. This is a community-organized event. The argument is basically, if you don't like how this one is run, you have the power to organize your own.
But to only focus on the debate would be missing the bigger picture, because buried in this exact same thread are these moments that show a much deeper, more complex community, one that actually helps each other out and dreams of connecting across these huge distances. Take this little exchange, for instance. A player points out a technical problem with the organizer's Discord account. There's no argument, no debate. A few hours later, the organizer just replies, "Fixed." A problem was identified and it was solved. Simple, effective community action right there. And then you see the posts that are just tinged with regret. A user named Moose realizes they're going to be in Sweden for the first time ever, but will miss the event by just 2 weeks. You can just feel the disappointment, but it's immediately followed by a genuine, "Have fun, everybody," for those who can make it.
And this just highlights the ultimate barrier for a global community: geography. A player all the way from Australia chimes in, saying they wish they could come, but it's just so far away. For them, and for thousands of others, attending an event in Sweden isn't just a matter of buying a ticket. It's a massive, expensive, logistical undertaking.
Which, brings us right back to our big question. This one single forum thread shows us the whole spectrum: the excitement of planning, the heated debate over fairness, the simple acts of helping each other, and that quiet longing of those who are just too far away. It really suggests that for all the amazing worlds we can build online, the desire to connect in the real world, that might just be the ultimate endgame.